The removal and replacement of the JL Wrangler and JT Gladiator handles is pretty easy. We'll begin the process with the front doors. You'll notice, looking at your driver's side door, that there's two black. You'll notice when you open your front driver or passenger door that there's two black caps, either stickers or plastic caps that cover two holes. And the upper hole is where the handle bolt gets loosened to remove the handle. So this bolt takes a T25. You'll loosen the bolt until you're able to pull the handle cap out. After pulling out the handle cap, you're able to pull out the handle. It's pretty straightforward. For those that have the passive entry, you'll just disconnect the wiring. That wiring only exists for passive entry, and then it's as easy as that. You're able to disassemble your handle. Something that you'll want to be careful about is making sure that you don't back the T25 bolt out too far. I've not had an issue where I've dropped the bolt. I'm not sure that it's possible. I suspect that it's a captive bolt, so it stays in the pocket here. Just be careful. You only need to loosen this bolt just enough to be able to feel the cap wiggle, and then you'll be able to slide it out. Once the handle is removed, you can begin disassembly. In order to remove the handle cover from the backbone, you first need to remove a T8 screw. Make sure that you don't lose that because you'll need it again. And then you can pull on either side of the end of the handle and you'll be able to snap it loose, and then the rest of the handle just snaps free. Now, of course, this is the proximity style handle, so what you'll want to do is keep the electronics seated in the handle, and then we'll take the cover, we'll remove the handle button. It slides on to the handle cover in 3 locations. Found that it's best to just start gently prying up on the back side and it'll end up popping off. Now that the button's removed, and now you're able to begin reassembly with the new 3-dom handle. The button connects to the 3-dom handle just like the factory handle. You'll insert the button and then press it down over those small plastic standoffs. The standoffs are pretty stout, but make sure that you're pressing straight down and you're not deflecting them one direction or the other. When you get the button in your new handle cover, you'll install it onto the body. And you'll notice the proximity sensor has to fit into this trapezoidal pocket. And that's it. The front snaps into place, and then from there you'll just tighten down the T8 screw, and that's it. Ready for installation. The removal of the handle cap I found to be most challenging, and it's because there are 2 small tabs here and here that need to be disengaged. And it needs to be done in just a certain way. The inside portion of this cap will end up pivoting out. You can see that it's restrained here by these clasps. You'll see that it's restrained at the bottom, and it ends up just pivoting out once you're able to release these tabs. I found that it's best to have a couple of small flathead screwdrivers and simply pry in to either side of the tab, and then you should be able to start to pop out. And that's it. That's what it takes to remove the cap from the inside body. For those that have the proximity system, you may wonder where the sensor is. And there's really nothing to be worried about for this system, or worried about transferring the sensor portion over. For proximity systems, there's essentially a magnet that sits down in this pocket. It's glued into the cap body. So as long as you put the cap body back into the same door that it came out of, you won't have any issues. Assembling the cover on the cap body is pretty simple. You'll start at the bottom. You'll want to get the bottom portion of the body engaged, and then basically you'll just pivot the body into the cap, and it'll snap in place. And that's it. Simple as that. The reinstallation of the handle goes just like the removal, but in reverse. You'll first connect your electrical connector if you have the passive handle system, and then you'll fish your handle in. There's only one way it can go, and if you just fiddle with it, it'll seat in its pocket. And then the last step, once the handle's in place, is that you'll install the cap. You'll want to make sure that the handle and the cap are aligned. and then you'll tighten down the T25 bolt. And you don't want to tighten too much, just tighten it down to where you feel resistance and it stops.